We're used to seeing some seriously big game announcements in press conferences held at E3 and other conventions. With COVID and the lack of large conferences, the focus, now more than ever, has been delegated to shorter online broadcasts like Nintendo's Treehouse, PlayStation State of Play, and the Xbox Showcase. We had high hopes for this week's PlayStation State of Play, and it just wasn't what we expected. Where are the big announcements? That's what we want to talk about this week on the Free Play Podcast.
You are listening to the Free Play Podcast with Bubba Stallcup, Matt Warmbier, and Kate Katawaki, part of the Love Thy Nerd Podcast Network.
Recording! Okay, that was my test. It's working.
Hey, what's up, nerds? My name's Bubba, and you're watching the Free Play Podcast. You might be listening to it on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Smoke Signals,
all kinds of places.
Space from the future.
Ooh.
Kate from the future?
From the future, I like it.
You think about that?
Yeah,
wherever you're experiencing this, thank you so much. We are live on Twitch right now, twitch.tv/lovethynerd, each and every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. But joined with me today is Kate Katawaki.
Hello.
What's up?
I'm just gonna...
Matt's not here.
I know, it's so weird. I feel like I have to pay more attention now.
You had better pay attention. I mean,
I can't just
don't
tune
get me
out
wrong.
and look at Amazon like I normally do.
I can talk to myself, and I will talk to myself. I think people would probably be surprised to know just like on any given podcast, maybe they're starting to see a little bit more after watching these, these episodes here, how many times I end up talking to myself.
Basically.
Like I'm just like fleshing a thought out in my own brain. The same thing happens on Church Nerds, but you can't see it. And so I was listening back to this week's episode, and I was thinking to myself, that was a moment that did not sound nearly as awkward as it was in the moment when I was looking at my wife, who was in another country. Like, I don't even know what she was doing, but yeah, it was pretty cool.
Well,
I like it.
I mean, it's a skill that some people don't have, so I'm really proud of you, and congratulations.
Another thing is sometimes I will know in my brain, hey, this is a perfect setup for somebody else to say something, and then you guys will go, uh-huh. Yeah. Like, meow. All right, well, that was fun.
We didn't, maybe we were busy doing something else while you were speaking.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Matt was usually playing a video game, and Kate, you were, I don't know, thinking about the next paper you have to write for school or something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking about vocabulary words. Actually, Bubba, there's something I wanted to bring up to you today. I just wanted you to explain this.
I'm ready.
Well, on Monday in our staff meeting, you swallowed a gnat and then you choked on it, and you were coughing for 45 minutes.
Here's the deal.
So I want you to explain what happened, why you kept choking. I don't know. I just need some more. I need some more information here.
I can give it to you because that was a traumatic part of my life right now. And what happened was I got so used to not having the gnats. Guys, I'm in a garage. All right, it is not extravagant. If I were to turn around and show you, there's like a water heater right here. There's like really old sheetrock. There's a garage door on the side of me over here. It's not glorious, the space that I'm in. We're working on fixing that. But in that, like gnats come in all the time, or like fruit flies or whatever, just from like outside and all sorts of stuff. And so it froze, snowpocalypse. Okay, we talked about that.
Uh-huh.
Everything killed or hibernated all of the insects, and I got used to it, and I just forgot like what it was like. Insert Monday morning when we're in staff meeting. I'm sitting here drinking coffee, whatever, and sometimes you guys will see me do this. It's not because I'm trying to give you a high five. If I wave my hand, podcast listeners, it's me trying to catch a gnat because it's driving me absolutely crazy. Well, that gnat flew into my mouth as I was breathing in. And so to say that I swallowed a gnat, that's the wrong way to put that. I did not swallow that gnat.
Well, it didn't come out of your mouth at any point. It jammed
itself into my throat. It violated me. Like it did not have my consent for what happened. And so you're right. For the gnat, I tried to wash it down with coffee, but
you did. You tried to just solve the problem, but it didn't work. So you just kept coughing, and I just want to say that series of moments made me so happy.
I think it found a crevasse in the back of my throat, like in the deep, like lodge around a corner or something, because I could not get it out of my throat. I tried. I would be talking like, and then Kate would get really mad that I'm trying to clear my throat, and I'm like, I don't know what you want from me. Classic. Here's the deal. I would have to eat so many more of them, and I'm not willing to do that to get the amount of protein that would make that worth it. And so,
it was a really great moment that was completely unplanned, and it just happened.
Yeah,
and
who would plan that?
I even texted Matt and said, I had such a great day today. Bubba swallowed a gnat. Because he wasn't there on Monday, so he didn't see you swallow the gnat. So someone had to let him know, so I let him know.
Well, see, that wasn't even like it wasn't supposed to be the most interesting part of the meeting, because our staff meeting, we had it in a different spot.
We did.
We ended up meeting in a place on the internet called GatherTown.
It was really cool.
Kate, help the people understand what GatherTown is.
Okay, so GatherTown is like the most amazing digital meeting space that you could ever think of, that is made for nerds.
High praise.
You can do all kinds of stuff, and that was the first time I'd ever used it, but April Lynn made us a big kind of like co-working space for us and others, and she could probably let you in it if you apply and let her know that you're interested. She'll consider you.
Yeah.
But she'll in
talk
like,
to her people.
What style of graphics is that? Like 16-bit, 8-bit? I don't know how many bits. 8-bit style. It's cool.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool. But I found myself getting like super fidgety and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, well, you were getting
up out of your chair and walking around.
Not like physically, but
in GatherTown, your avatar,
in GatherTown,
your avatar was getting out of the chair, because we went into this digital meeting room that April Lynn had made that had like a table and chairs, everything you need to know. There were other rooms that had other people in them. Like Lisa was there in the other room, in the quiet room, and we met in the other room.
She was very clear. April Lynn was very clear that we were not allowed to go in there, because the first thing that you thought was, let's go mess with her.
Me? That was
like
you.
The first thing that you said.
That. No, you said
Did I?
that.
Maybe it was Chris.
Now I'm not so sure. It could have been Chris. Someone
Let's put it on Chris.
Someone said that, and it wasn't April Lynn, so it was one of the three of us said that. But then April Lynn said, this is a quiet room, so you don't go in there. You just leave it alone. We're going to meet in this room. There was a TV in our room that when you walked up to the TV and you interacted with it, it played a lo-fi version of Baby Shark, and I was really impressed, and I loved it, and it was really cool.
It was easily the best version of Baby Shark that I've ever heard.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Ever.
I think we should use it on this podcast, like maybe the pre-show music.
I bet.
No.
Interesting.
No, it wouldn't cause any problems.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I was gonna say that I think that we might be okay.
Well,
because
let's not count our chickens before they hatch, if you know what I mean.
I refuse to count chickens at any moment in time.
Can you hear my chicken outside? There's one right outside the window that's screaming at me.
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No, it's the same thing like I have on my phone. I have it's not a Ring doorbell, but it's basically the equivalent of a Ring doorbell. I think it's a Nest. And like it will tell me when sound or motion is happening outside of my front door. And there we have, Kate, how many do we have? We have
6 or 8.
Well, honestly, I think it's like 4 roosters out there. Yeah. It's too many roosters. Too many
that is
roosters.
4 too many.
Yeah. And so they're just like crowing at each other at like all hours of the day. It doesn't matter.
You can put a stop
yeah,
to
well, we've talked about it. We've talked about it. Man, Matt, we miss you. I know you're here. I see you in the chat.
No, we don't. We're just fine.
No, man, forget that guy.
We don't miss him. We are just fine.
What a joke.
This is going to be a
I was
really
just testing
great episode.
you. Yeah, you passed, Kate.
To make sure I was on the same page as you and I didn't give in.
I kind of thought you were going that way of like missing him at the beginning because you sounded kind of sad.
Well, because of the gnat thing. He didn't see it.
Oh, you wanted to share that with him. I got you.
I wanted him to... I wish that he had seen the gnat thing. Oh, another thing about GatherTown, since we've moved off the subject, I'm going to bring it back, is you can meet in multiple groups, right? But when you're in one group, like location-based, you can see their video and hear them. When you want to talk to another group, you leave and then you hear that group's. So it's like very location-based audio and video, which is very cool.
It's proximity.
You could literally meet with 4 different groups of people in the same room.
Yeah. Well, hey, give it a shot. GatherTown, it's pretty cool. Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Yet, I guess. I mean, if they want to, like,
that's right.
Hit me up, bubba@lovethynerd.com. I'll chat with you about it.
Send free merch. Thank you.
Oh, man. What would you get from GatherTown?
I don't know. You know that I like merch.
I do know you like merch.
$0 for, or a lot of money. I'll pay a lot of money, like at PAX.
One merch, please.
I bought one of everything. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, hey, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the games that we've been playing, the movies or shows that we've been watching, books that we've been reading, all kinds of stuff. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more of the Free Play Podcast.
What up, nerd? Thank you for listening to this podcast from the Love Thy Nerd Podcast Network. We hope you're enjoying it. But hey, did you know that Love Thy Nerd airs almost all of its podcasts first on LTN Radio? That's right. LTN Radio is your home for the best Christian rock, rap, pop, and indie music. And it's also the place to go to hear Love Thy Nerd's content before it reaches the podcast feed. In addition to that, Love Thy Nerd creates a lot of content that's exclusive to LTN Radio that you're missing out on. So go check out ltnonair.com and listen for yourself. You can also download the Live 365 app on your smartphone and search and favorite LTN Radio, or enable the LTN Radio skill on your Echo devices and simply ask Alexa to play Love Thy Nerd. Now let's get you back to that podcast.
Hey there, and welcome back to the Free Play Podcast. My name's Bubba, joined again with Kate. We are a couple, I forgot to say this at the top of the show. We're a couple of the co-hosts and co-founders here at Love Thy Nerd.
It's true.
Kate, you're in charge of the social media stuff.
Yes, I am.
I mean, I say stuff not to be flippant, because it's like the stuff, like the all of it.
I think stuff is a good word to summarize it.
Yeah.
Just all the things.
It's almost too descriptive, but
yeah, like maybe a little more generic next time.
Yeah, and then I'll just trail off.
The things.
And you know, she's also like in charge of producing this podcast. So again, if you like it, cool. It's on her. If you hate it, again, fingers pointed in the same direction. So yeah.
This is as good as it gets. I don't know what else to tell you.
Oh man. Well, moving along, Kate, let's talk to these fine folks here about the stuff that we're engaging in nerd culture. So what have you been doing in the last week?
Well, I have good news for you. I finished a show on Netflix.
I guess it hadn't dawned on me. I
also have forgotten
had Netflix.
I do have Netflix.
Okay.
I've also been watching this show for like a couple months, but I kept forgetting to mention it every week here. So it's been 4 seasons. It's been 4 seasons.
You've been watching it for 4 seasons?
Yeah. And each episode is probably like an hour. So it's been a lot of time that I've forgotten to mention here. So the show is called The Last Kingdom, and it's a show about Vikings, and of course it is. And
I can't.
It is so good. What's the matter? Are you struggling because I have been watching this and I forgot to mention?
I'm catching up with just the facts of the story here. All right, continue.
Well, yeah, I watched The Last Kingdom. It was very good. Very, very good.
And then so you have 4 seasons that you've watched, and all you can say is very good.
It was very, very good. I mean, that's like a high compliment coming from me when I don't really watch shows that often.
What was good about it?
Just everything.
Perfect. Thanks, Kate.
It was the action and like the fight. I just felt like they nailed the history of it, a lot of it. I felt like the casting was really, really good.
Okay.
Especially for the guy who played King Alfred. It was like, I don't remember his name.
We'll call him...
his name's David something. David something. Okay, so we'll just say David. David played...
David the actor.
David the actor played King Alfred, and he did such a killer job. I think he really nailed it. Not that I know King Alfred, because he's been dead for like 1,200 years. But I felt like it was a really good dramatic depiction.
Okay.
The fight scene choreography was awesome. They had these huge battles between the Saxons and the Vikings, and it was so freaking awesome. And the guy who did the voice of male Eivor in Assassin's Creed Valhalla was also in the show.
As a Viking?
As a Viking. So it was really
Look
weird.
Typecasting.
It was really weird to hear Eivor's voice and see a different person and know that's the real person. Eivor's not the real person. This is the real person.
So they didn't model the character off of his likeness?
Well,
in the game?
He has red hair in real life. No, I don't think they did.
Pretend like
Just
I
his
haven't
face.
played Valhalla.
You wouldn't recognize him.
Okay.
You wouldn't recognize him at all. So he plays this super fierce warrior who's a bad guy too in this show.
Kate, spoilers. Come on. Psych. Last Kingdom's been out for like 9,000 years.
No, it hasn't. Not 9,000. Well, I don't know. I heard they were going to...
It's been out for a while.
So I watched the 4 seasons of it, and then I heard that once it got acquired by Netflix, they were going to do a 5th season. So maybe there's more. I don't know.
But wait, there's more. Kind of like the Great British Baking Show.
Yeah. If they say, but wait, there's more, I'll be really excited. But I was sad when... Because it kind of goes through a long period of time. So I was sad when, like, King Alfred died and stuff, but I thought they did a good depiction of it. I mean,
it was David Ramsey. That's what it was.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah. Sir David Ramsey.
Sir David Ramsey played, yeah.
The first, yeah.
Oh, so far no one's gotten the name of the actor, and I don't know if I'd even be able to confirm if they did say it. But he was really good. I'm not saying he sucked. He was really good. I just don't remember his name because I don't remember people in real lives.
And it's names. 3 names? You're sure? I mean, obviously he has at least 3 names.
No, it was just...
David something?
No.
David Tennant?
No, not him. Not him. I don't know. I'll just Google it later. We can move on from this point.
I'm sure that the chat is already trying to figure it out, so don't worry about that.
Well, it's a really good show, so if you're into that time period, definitely check it out. Netflix, and I think it was on BBC before, I don't know.
Yeah.
Was
Benedict Cumberbatch? Yeah, I think so.
So there's like Netflix, they take some liberties sometimes with what is appropriate and what is not. So just to warn you, there are some moments,
Well, speaking of appropriate and inappropriate, Joyful Gamer just tried to type the word Cumberbun into chat, and Twitch was like, I don't think so. Not on my watch.
Oh.
Well, I mean, so how does it stack up against, say... Like, did you watch Vikings?
No. This is the only Viking show I've ever watched. So, I wanted to watch Vikings because I felt like Vikings had some other essential characters to the Viking Age historical period that this show did not have.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't watch it because I think it's on Hulu or something.
You don't have Hulu. What do you have?
I have Netflix and Amazon Prime, and I have Tombstone on DVD. That's That's all I have. So
Okay, stop.
I'm telling you, that's all I have. What more do you want from me?
Oh my gosh. Guys, if you ever Kate, this is Kate. What you
Tombstone's my
see is what
favorite
you get with
movie.
her. Oh my gosh. I have Netflix, I have Amazon, and I have Tombstone
I watched
on
Tombstone
DVD.
in the past week and a half too. It's my favorite.
So is Tombstone the only DVD that you have?
I think I have others, but honestly, I don't.
That
look
was
at
the
them.
only one you called out in
I don't
that.
look at them or care about any other DVDs I have. Tombstone sits on my shelf right there, so I see it every single day.
Okay.
The others, I don't know.
Oh, I was
I don't
not
know.
expecting that.
I don't know what else I have. So besides that, Tombstone on DVD, I picked up this game called Littlewood that I've been waiting for ages to come out that Frost told me about.
Okay.
And I got it on the Switch, and it's really fun and precious. It's a game that you play a character who was like the hero of, imagine the hero of a huge game, and you defeat the final boss, and it's like, yay!
Mm-hmm.
So this game takes place after that, so it's like, now what do you do after you've been the hero of this big thing? So you're trying to basically rebuild your town, or a town, highly customizable game.
Okay.
Highly customizable. I think
What's the gameplay of it? What am I looking at?
Think Stardew Valley-esque mining, fishing,
Okay.
foraging, farm stuff, crafting, furniture, houses, things. But I feel like it's more reasonable in its expectations of crafting and farming. It kind of puts limits on a lot of things in a good way. So it's not like, this is a grind, this is a grind. That's how I feel about Stardew, is I'm trying to plant 1,000 strawberries to get, that Skrilla. And here I'm limited to planting.
That gold clock ain't gonna by itself, so.
Yeah, and here I'm limited to planting 8 carrots. So it's a... But I'm not annoyed by that. You can only sell so much in a day too. There's 8 or 12 spots at your market that you can sell. So I can't just forage all day, sell a ton of stuff, and wake up in the morning with a bunch of money sitting there for me. It's very reasonably kind of limited.
Okay.
It's
you like it?
$15. I love it so far. $15
Okay.
For Switch, and I think it's for PC as well.
Al says he likes Stardew better.
Of course he would like Stardew better. He has 1 billion hours in it. Al has everything that I've ever wanted in Stardew that I will never achieve.
Well, not with that attitude.
No, I won't. I just won't. I don't have the dedication like Al to Stardew.
You
anymore.
do. That's what I'm trying to
Not
tell
anymore.
you, Kate. You do have the dedication.
No, not anymore. It's gone.
You're wasting your time on school. This is the problem.
Yeah. I'm going to quit school to do Stardew full time.
Yeah.
I think Steven would be really excited about that.
He's watching a car show, so I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah.
Oh, I think that's
Or
it.
see if you can do your classes in Stardew.
Maybe I could do my classes in Gathertown.
You can definitely do your classes in Gathertown. Because they can do whiteboards and Zoom calls and all sorts of stuff.
Oh, it's so great. I also been playing Phoenix Rising, but not as much.
How far are you in that?
Maybe halfway. I'm not sure, but it makes my brain really tired. So when I've been playing school, when I've been doing school and stuff and typing what seems like 1 billion pages of a study guide, the last thing I want to do is solve a puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't been playing it that much this week, but
I love puzzles, man. I do. Sometimes, even when I'm watching a stream, if somebody's on a puzzle, my brain can't not just sit there and try and figure it out.
I've said this to Matt on previous episodes that he would like Phoenix Rising. But I also think that you would like it. I really do.
Yeah.
That would be so far my 2021 recommendation for you so far.
Phoenix?
Yeah.
I'll look at it. I've purchased too many video.
Well, that's the thing.
and
It's
board
like
games
don't
lately.
buy anything else. But when you feel like buying something else and it's appropriate time,
Yeah.
then you should consider this.
Kate, use some birthday monies and gift it to me. Yeah, no, I misread that recommendation. No, you buy it.
No,
Bubba.
but I
You
want
buy
you to buy it with your own monies.
So I can, the ownership. Got it.
Yeah, I want you to have ownership of it and call it your own.
No handouts.
Yeah. So speaking of handouts, what have you been playing?
First and foremost, WandaVision, episode 8, I think it was, came out today. 9, maybe. I honestly don't remember. Yeah. So good. So good.
Still into it?
Every week I'm like, guys, it's good. It's a great show. It's getting better and better and better. And better and better and better and better and better. And so if you haven't gotten in on the WandaVision craze, I recommend
What are you
it.
waiting for?
Well, maybe they're waiting for one more week. If you wait one more week, then you might be able to get like a Disney Plus trial and binge it.
Ooh, maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's not a bad idea because I do think there's one more episode, and then from what I understand, and I could be wrong because I've been wrong before, I think the next thing that you'll see out of the whole Wanda Maximoff saga is Doctor Strange 2.
Ooh.
Which is supposed to be a horror-themed multiverse kind of magic-based movie, which I'm all the way here for. 2 episodes left. Okay. So, yes, the season finale is next week. I'm getting conflicting reports.
Well,
that's what I get for listening to Matt.
The truth will come out.
Either way, however many episodes that are left, they are left. And I think that if you're not watching it, you should. So we watched that this morning, and I was reminded. I totally have forgotten what today was when I woke up, and then my phone was like, "Bing, bing, 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 bing." Marvel spoilers in Discord, and I'm like, "Oh, mute. Time to go watch the show." So I did, and it was absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
And what have I been playing? So I haven't really been playing a whole lot lately, and I'll talk about why here in just a second. But what I have been able to play, I talked about last week, was Call of Duty's Zombies, the new Cold War stuff. Outbreak. Okay, so all of Season 2 dropped for Call of Duty yesterday, day before.
Very recently.
And that's a Warzone update, and that's also Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War stuff. And oh my gosh, the Outbreak mode for zombies is legit. It's so legit. Kate, have you ever played zombies before?
I've played zombies,
the game mode?
But it was a long time ago, and I wasn't very good at it because I didn't understand what was happening.
Okay,
but
so
I have played it before, yes.
Zombies coming in through windows and out to the ground, and you have like a closed...
You need to place wood, and you need to place things in the...
Closed space where you're like running around and maybe like a figure 8 pattern or whatever, trying to stay alive as long as you can. Then they started adding objectives as the game mode's starting to go on and yada, yada, yada. A lot of stuff started opening up a little bit more. This one, in Outbreak, they've given you a fire team map. So it's still 4 people, but you can go and explore like an entire map worth of space that's like wide open.
Interesting.
You can drive vehicles.
So it's
you can
not
jump off
as,
the tall buildings, pull your parachute.
Not as, I guess the word would be maybe claustrophobic.
Not even a little bit. Everything's wide open. There's looting, so you can open chests and do all sorts of stuff. No more having to turn the power on to get Pack-a-Punch, to upgrade your weapons or armor or anything like that. Everything's just like there. Just go for it. And it's fantastic. And come to find out, it was everything that they wanted it to be. They had been building things in the previous Zombies games towards a mode like this.
Wow.
So... yeah, this is not like the tip of the mountaintop, but we're starting the summit.
Okay.
And so I'm crazy excited for it. I freaking love it. McDoohoo, I am ready to go at a moment's notice to play that game. I want to all the time. And so we played, normally in a zombies mode, you would kill X number of zombies and then a new round would come, okay? This one, you have to clear the map, not of zombies, but of the objective, and then an anomaly will open up, and you have to go through the anomaly into the next map. So it takes you over, right now, 3 different maps.
Okay.
And so whenever you progress to the next map, then the round marker moves. So we played for about 2.5, maybe 3 hours, and we got to round 3. And so It's fantastic, man. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing that I've been playing is Call of Duty, and it's absolutely fantastic. If you want to play, hit me up. I'd love to play with you. I would love, capital L, love to play the Outriders demo. Kate, have you heard about this game?
I haven't.
Probably not. So Outriders is like Destiny meets kind of Gears of War meets.
Okay, so it's exactly the perfect game for you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so it's a third-person space shooter that's made by Square Enix, developed in by one of their companies, or a subsidiary of. And so it's not a game as a service. So like Destiny is a game as a service. You pay monthly, yada yada yada. This is a one-time buy, but it's still a looter shooter. You can still go through like fire teams of 3, and it has leveling in it. It has leveling like Diablo, has leveling where the more you progress, the harder the world becomes. So like it scales, and then you can go back and repeat it at a higher difficulty.
Oh, okay.
And so I bought it. Craig Falvo was like, hey, we got to get this game. I want to play it. So I bought it. The demo came out. My computer refuses to play the demo.
No way.
It just black screens. And then I have an FPS counter. I'm about to swallow an ad again. I got an FPS counter at the top of my screen, and it says my frames per second are like 2,500 frames a second, which is impossible. It's absolutely impossible. But when your computer doesn't have to render anything on screen, I guess it can show you 2,500 frames.
The sky's the limit.
And it just stays on black.
Point.
It won't do anything. And so I need somebody to fix this for me.
Okay, Chad. Chad, are you there?
Anybody. I would love it. I would love it. I'll give you all the information, and we can go from there. But anyway, I want to play that so bad.
That's so sad that you were looking forward to that, and now you can't even play it for some unknown reason.
And I have like the graphics card that they're like, hey, it's specialized for this graphics card. Nothing. Uninstalled, reinstalled 3 different times. Nothing. Hate it. All that to say, like, I want to play more games. I want to do more stuff, but we're getting ready for my mother-in-law's celebration of life ceremony, which is tomorrow morning. And so I've been putting together videos and, not just slideshows, because your boy hates slideshows. And so trying to spice it up, and we're doing a lot of video elements where we ask people to send in videos so that we can use those stories during the service.
Yeah, which I think is a good idea.
She didn't want a funeral, the obituary and all this stuff, and people crying and all that. She wanted to have fun. She wanted people to worship and to know why she existed, which was basically the same reason that we do LTN, to love and serve our nerdy neighbors and be the love of Jesus, And so she did that in her context, and was a huge proponent of LTN, by the way. Like, I was going through a lot of her pictures, and in a lot of them, she's wearing the LTN shirt. So we're getting ready for that tomorrow, and that's really what's been cramping my style, honestly. I say that in the best way possible. Like, all these games and demos and all this stuff come out during a week when we've got family coming in.
Yeah.
And like my dad, who is never down here, is like, hey, I'm coming in town this weekend. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, it would be great to see you, but... And then I start this new job on Monday.
But I got some things going on. Well, new job.
He was in town from like Thursday of last week through Wednesday, and I started a new job on Monday, and like Monday and Tuesday I have meetings, and it's like...
What's your new job? Or is it a secret?
No, you know what my new job is.
Well, I know what your new job is.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like...
job is, so I was asking.
No, okay, so
are you allowed to share on behalf for other people what your new job is?
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. I've got a new job. I'm starting with Switcher Studio, which you guys may know about.
Sounds familiar.
And I'm sorry, you've probably heard about it 4 different times now because I've spoken on it on every podcast or whatever I'm a part of.
I wasn't listening before.
Different listeners, though. And you may know what that is because Matt is the community manager for Switcher Studio, and also Asia in the kitchen is a CX associate for that, a customer experience associate. So I'm actually going to be joining that team and then working towards learning the system and all that so that I can kind of, do and handle the onboard and support for the House of Worship Market.
You fancy.
So there's a lot of those people in there, and they need help.
And
so
I
bad.
will announce that I am coming to Switcher Studio as head of the House of Worship onboarder. So see you Monday at all your meetings. I will be your new boss.
I report directly to Kate and also immediately around her. Yeah. So
just kidding. That's not my new job. That was a joke.
Yeah, one of those pieces of news were real, and one wasn't.
There was a
You be
lie
the judge.
mixed in there.
Yeah, one truth and a lie. But that's kind of what's going on with us. Hey, let us know, what have you guys been playing? Hit us up on Twitter at FreePlayPodcast, or on Discord, or even in our Facebook group. Just let us know. What have you been playing, reading, watching, experiencing, whatever. Got a brand new episode of the book club that just came out this past week.
It's an interview with the author.
Madeline talked with David Petrie about his new book, or I guess his old book, Party Hard, which was the first book in the series of Pixel Dust. And I didn't even know what a lit RPG, like a literary RPG was, but it sounds a lot like Ready Player One to me, if I'm being real. Like, go and listen to it.
There's a giveaway,
5-minute
too.
There is a giveaway.
There's a giveaway, so you can win a copy of one of the books if you share the episode and use the hashtag LTN Book Club.
You should definitely do that.
So go do it.
And then go subscribe.
Who
That's a
doesn't
great
like
podcast.
a free book?
Usually me, but like,
I was going to say,
real,
that was the wrong question to ask you, because
you're not my dad.
But whatever.
Well, hey, speaking of not my dad, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to be talking a little bit about PlayStation's recent state of play. And I say a little bit because it wasn't super long.
Well,
but hey,
no spoilers.
Save it for the podcast, all right? More on that right after the break here on the Free Play Podcast.
This week in Nerd History, he's a super American. Nerd History. That was the original name that Joe Simon convened for Captain America, Super American. In his autobiography, he detailed how he decided, no, that didn't work because there were too many supers around. Captain America had a good sound to it. There weren't a lot of captains in comics, and it was as easy as that. The boy companion was simply named Bucky after his friend Bucky Pearson, a star on Joe's high school basketball team. The very first Captain America comics comic book released on March 1st, 1941, and was published by Timely Comics. And while many of us have seen the iconic cover of Cap punching Adolf Hitler in the face, many of us may not realize that was actually the very first Captain America comics cover, released 1 year into World War II. I'm Radio Matt. See you next time for more Nerd
History. Hey, what's up, nerds, and welcome back to the Free Play Podcast. My name is Bubba, joined again with Kate.
Hello.
And today we're going to talk about the state of play for 2021, which the state of play is kind of like the State of the Union address-ish from Sony about what's going on in their world, what's some of the stuff that they're working on. It feels like it's different every time. It used to be that like there would be like one big show and they would tell you what's coming in the year.
There'd be big announcements. Big.
Now these companies are like, hey, my name's Nintendo. By the way, today at 3:30, we're dropping a Treehouse. Like that kind of stuff, like a direct or whatever.
I completely agree.
And I think that here's my opinion. And it's just my opinion, right? The conveniency of the internet is creating problems when it comes to these announcements from corporations or developers or publishers or whatever. I think we saw that with the last Nintendo Direct, and I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but it was disappointing to say the least. During the year that was it is the 35th anniversary of Legend of Zelda.
No mention of it.
Basically, the mention was, "Hey, I bet you're waiting for Zelda. Sorry, you're not going to get it."
It's so dumb. It's like, so are you going to tell us later in the year? Is there anything? Is this it?
Yeah, nothing to even look forward to. And we kind of wondered in that moment, right? Like Matt was talking about it, and we've talked about it a lot since then. The date that was the actual, I guess, birthday or release date or whatever for Zelda to get the 35th anniversary came and went
with nothing.
With like nothing. We got more Mario news.
It's like, well, it's not Mario's birthday, is it?
Not anymore. Hit the road, Jack.
Not anymore. I think you're spot on in that about the internet. Maybe I don't want to say they're not trying. Yeah. Because I'm sure they're trying to a degree, but it's like, this is it.
Yep. Matt says Mario still has his birthday monies left.
Yeah, he does. He does. It's true.
So, like, for me, though, I really feel, and we're going to get to Sony in a second, but, like, this is the lead up to this. And if you can't tell, I wasn't super impressed with what I saw at the Sony State of Play. But what we're seeing is you don't have PAX East. You don't have E3. You don't have these big major conferences anymore where, I mean, people would, like, these companies would shake the Coke can for months leading up to this thing and then just exploded all over the audience. And it was such a release because one of the best things would be to see that, like, be watching something and them to go, and you can get it today.
It's like, or, what? Are you serious? Yeah. Now it's like,
I love that stuff.
No release date.
Nothing. Fast forward to the State of Play. It was live yesterday. Yeah. I saw it go live. I didn't have a chance to watch it. I watched it this morning. I don't have a PlayStation 5, so it's really hard for me to get like super pumped about this stuff. I think a lot of it is going to release on the PlayStation 4, at least like in that for that platform.
I think so.
But I don't think that obviously you're going to be able to experience it the way that they want you to. So like a lot of these things are being built for the PlayStation 5, not even like just for the platform of the PlayStation 5, not even like graphically or anything like that. It's like, hey, here's the card system that we have in this game for the menus and all this stuff. And it's like, well, but I have a PlayStation 4.
Grasping at straws.
Like I can't do that. So, you know, like the bells and whistles and features and stuff like that, they're trying to utilize the PS5 more because they basically overhauled it, which I think was a good idea. And I said it before, I really wish that Microsoft would get on board with a lot of the stuff that PS5 has in the console. But I don't know, like I looked at my list of things that I was excited about, and even then, there's nothing new on that list.
Well,
nothing.
Also, when I texted you about this, I said, Bubba, I think you would like a lot of these games. Maybe
you did build it up.
Maybe might have hyped it up. Well, because I was looking at some of them, and we're going to talk about it in a second, and I was like, I feel like Bubba would play and enjoy that game. Not thinking about, do you have a PS5? That's not what I'm thinking about. I'm looking at it saying, does this game give me a Bubba vibe? There were a couple that did.
Yeah.
So,
I mean...
And then you watched it, and you did...
You want to start or you want me to start? Like, we should probably just get into this
Yeah,
thing.
let's just get into it. I'll start. We'll start at the...
All right.
We'll start at the very first one. Hold on. Let me pull it up. They talked about Crash Bandicoot. Improved graphics.
I didn't even write that down. I did not even write that down.
I know, because it's like, okay, activity cards, blah, blah, blah. Where's the good stuff?
Yeah.
Returnal.
I wrote Returnal down.
There was a trailer for Returnal that's coming April 30th on PS5. That game stood out to me. Do I want to play it? No. But it still stood out to me as something that was kind of like interesting and unique. It did give me Control vibes.
Yes.
Big time. Yes. Everything about it gave me Control vibes. Mm-hmm. Which, if you haven't played Control, you should probably go ahead and do that.
Go play Control. If you have Xbox Live, and if your dang Xbox Live is deciding to connect today, it's on Game Pass if you have that.
It's a challenging game, but even I beat it, so...
That's saying a lot.
So that is saying a lot, because normally I give up on that stuff, but whatever.
So with Returnal, I will say, again, nothing new. We knew about this game. I'm going to be honest. I'd forgot about it.
Yeah, me too.
I just like... It's not that, oh, this is a whatever game. But for me, we just get inundated with so many things that like something has to really stick out to stick with me. And like this game, it looks really cool. Like it's a third-person shooter. It feels, I'm going to use a phrase here. It feels very roguelike. And
there was a mention there.
Did they say that?
Well, they didn't necessarily say roguelike, but they highlighted the fact that when you die, things change and move around.
Yeah.
So that element was very roguelike to me.
Yeah. And I think it was April Lynn that mentioned the other day, maybe during staff meeting, about, we were talking about Hades. That's what it was. And Chris had mentioned that Hades is a roguelike, and April Lynn said that it's not technically a roguelike because a roguelike is like permadeath. And I think that the phrase roguelike has changed over time to mean you go through something, you get basically as far as you can with it, and then when you die, you retain all of the like experience and maybe some of the materials and skills and blah, blah, blah. So with this one, with Returnal, it's fairly similar to that. You go through as far as you can until you die, which you will die.
Yes.
And then when you start over, you have all those skills and everything, but then like everything is procedurally generated. So like, or at least the spawn points and all the different stuff are, hey, Steph
Applier 3.
There we go. Steph, thank you so much for that follow. It changes every time you die, so you have to think on your feet. It forces critical thinking.
That stresses me out.
I love that because that turns an already active medium, which is a video game, into a continually active medium. Like you can't just like speedrunners. They just learn patterns, right? They just get into the rhythm of things and go. You can't do that with this because the spawns are random.
Yeah.
And the things that happen in the world are random. And I like that. I really enjoy that aspect. Keeps the game fresh, right?
That it does.
So Returnal looks good.
Yeah.
Don't have a PlayStation 5.
No. But for some of you,
I would like to play it.
It might like hit some of those things that you've enjoyed in previous games. I have a question for you, Bubba.
I have answers.
Why didn't you like the martial arts game called Sifu? Why didn't you like it? Because I looked Sifu. An intense kung fu experience coming in 2021. I thought you would maybe enjoy that.
I mean, it looked all right, but I mean, like there's 100 other games out there that are just like it, in the same vein. And so for me, it's not for me. That's one of those things. If I have a finite amount of time, I have a finite amount of money, and no PS5 to boot. So, it's not going to sell me on a console or anything like that. It looked like just another game to play. And so
that was kind of the theme of this whole thing. It's like, where's the big announcement? Spoiler alert, there was none.
Didn't see it.
There was no big exciting thing. I mean, maybe for some people, there's a Final Fantasy. Let's see, what is that? The 7 remake arriving on PS5.
I didn't write that down.
I didn't write it down, but I have the tab open here.
I'm 100% okay with that, and I have received all of the shade and the hate, and will continue to. Final Fantasy is not my jam.
That's fine. I don't think I've ever actually played a Final Fantasy game. Then I thought there was like a dodgeball game. And when I looked at it, I thought, this game looks like a game that Bubba would be into for 30 days and then would drop. This looks 30, like...
That's a long time.
I know.
That's a long time.
Like, so say you played it like 2 or 3 times a week for 30 days. And then you're like, I'm done playing this dodgeball game. It looked exactly like...
Did you swallow a gnat? Are you okay? Did I send you a gnat?
No, I swallowed some spit.
Oh, okay.
This reminds me of when you and Matt were into that game Smite.
Yes.
This is like, this would be exactly the same. Get really hyped for it, play it for a short amount of time, then be like, I'm never touching this again. That's what this game looked like.
And that was my almost exact thought, was I would play this game if somebody would play with me.
Matt.
Like, that's the thing.
Dodgeball.
Matt, you did suck so
whatever
bad.
this
Hey,
is.
funny man, what's going on? Good to see you. You know, it looks fun.
For a short amount of time, not
You have to have people to play with. The same thing happened to me with Splatoon 2. Like, I bought that game.
That's
that game
right.
was expensive.
It
like,
was
full price
and
expensive.
you were really excited about it.
And nobody would play with me. And like the person that I bought it to play with, I could never play with them. And so I was like, you know, this I can't keep doing this.
That's funny.
I can't keep doing this.
That's really funny, actually.
Frost, I don't play Smite anymore, but if I did, I'd probably main a Ninja Turtle, if I'm being real.
He doesn't play Smite. That was a long time ago. We weren't even doing the free play podcast when you liked Smite. We were at the arcade podcast.
It was arcade, yeah. I mean, I played with Jake Brooks. Like, that was...
Yeah. I played with you and Matt once, and I'm like, what is this game's lame. Like, what is this?
And I'm going to be real. Like, I liked it. But again, you know, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
Frost, you didn't exist back then.
It's a thing.
But that's why. I Dodgeball, it sounds fun to me. I would play the crap out of that. But
that's that.
yeah. What else, Kate?
What else?
What was the next one?
Didn't you play Hyper Light Drifter, or was that someone else who played it and was really into it? Okay,
I love Hyper Light Drifter.
Then I looked at this game, Solar Ash, made by the same peeps, and thought, oh, this is another Bubba game for a console that you don't own.
So,
PS.
So when it came out, I have Hyper Light Drifter. I have it somewhere. I bought the game. I played it on an Xbox. And it soon came out for Switch after that. But in the in-between, there was a website, I forget what it was called, but it looked like an 8-bit like Super Nintendo game. Like, that's what it looked like. And so, or a 16-bit Super Nintendo game rather. And so they actually sold like a blue cart inside of a, you know, SNES like box and all that stuff. Came with a booklet because it was a digital download game. And I have that somewhere in the garage. 1,000 boxes. And so I have that somewhere, but I loved Hyper Light Drifter because it looked awesome.
Yeah.
And also that game did not tell you anything. Like it felt to me a lot like playing the original Legend of Zelda. Like, all right, go play.
Go get them.
Yeah. And even when, you know, I've talked about this before, but even when Hyper Light Drifter would like try and give you direction to something, it was a lot like this other game called Finji that I can't wait to come out. But it would come, like the text would come up in like an alien language from the game. So like it's not, it's like, you know, it could be swearing at you. You just don't know because like you don't read the language.
Weird.
So I really, really, really appreciate that because games are too dang handholdy these days.
Well,
so. Get off my lawn. I don't know what to say.
Some people like me need.
But Solar Ash, the moment I saw this, when it was announced, not yesterday, I was like, oh dang, this looks like.
It gave you those same vibes.
It looks like Hyper Light Drifter.
Yeah.
It's a Hyper Light Drifter was a top-down like isometric view. This one is a third-person view.
Third-person platformer. So pushing it a little. Like,
simplistic, you know, movement. Oh, Tunic. That's what I meant to say, not Finji. Finji is the company. Tunic is the game, and that game, it's a little like, it looks like Legend of Zelda, but you're a fox, and it's like 3D low poly stuff. Can't wait. But the controls look pretty easy on Solar Ash, and it's not like, oh, okay, you know, even a baby could play it kind of a deal, but the less complicated you make the controls, the more you can put into other things. Yeah. Like, I'm not having to worry about, oh, okay, no, what was the button to cast, you know, fireball or whatever it was?
Yeah, that's what this looks like, is a thoughtfully evolved version of, or step up from the last game. From what I've seen,
I appreciate that.
I didn't play it, but.
Because how many times, Kate, have you heard me say, or other people for that matter, I stopped playing that game for a while and I came back to it and I had to start it all over. Yeah. Because I don't remember the controls. I have no idea, you know, what. Yeah, if I started The Witcher 3 again, I would have to go all the way back to the very beginning. I mean, very beginning.
Yeah, that's a hard one. That's a good example of like a fairly complicated controlled game.
So simplify.
So-
I don't know how simple they're going to go, but that was
We'll
one of the
see.
things that they mentioned was simplified controls.
They did.
So I wrote down Solar Ash. That was one I was, somewhat excited about.
Yeah. I'm really excited about the Kena Bridge of Spirits game. That was right up my alley. It looks really awesome.
Looks gorgeous.
It looks super cool. So I'm excited.
Yep.
And I thought I had heard somewhere that it was coming out beginning of 2021. And someone was like, oh, it's March 2021. And I'm like, oh, are you serious? That's coming up. And then I looked, it got pushed to August. Of course it did.
It's going to come out on the PS6. Yeah.
Probably. I bet you it'll be a PS5 exclusive, even though I don't think it... No, it said PS4 and PS5, but how much you want to bet the end evolution of it by the time it's finally ready, it'll be PS5 only, and I'll be just...
I'm hopeful, though, Kate. I'm hopeful about these games as far as like the gameplay and graphics goes, because if they were able to take Miles Morales,
so
Spider-Man,
good.
and
So
put
good.
it as great as they did on PlayStation 4,
Yeah.
I know it can be done. I know that
Yeah.
it can be done.
I really want to play that game right now.
Yeah.
But they said no. They said August, which will get pushed again. So how much you want to bet March 2022?
Ugh.
That's a whole other podcast
I'm worried that
topic.
that game. I'm worried that game might turn into, what was like some of those games that came out like right at the beginning of the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, like Knack and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And then there was another game that looked fairly similar to this game, but like with a more cartoony feel that came out for the 360. I forget the name of it, but
Oh, I don't
like
even know.
these games that just get lost in the shuffle
I
because
don't
they're
want
just
this game to get lost. It looks so much fun.
it looks
It's
great.
really cool, and yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty much the only thing that I was really truly excited about. With
You know what I
this.
wasn't
And
excited about at all?
What?
Abe's whatever.
Oh, Oddworld?
Yeah.
Me either.
I mean, if you're into those games, that's super cool for you. Like I'm excited. They're adding something with like the haptic triggers and the feedback and all that stuff to let you know when he's exhausted or whatever.
Why can't you just put a thing on the screen that says I'm tired?
Well, again, guess what? You can't play on your PlayStation 4. Or at least with that thing. So, but the thing that
No, go
What?
ahead. No,
What were you
it
gonna
wasn't
say?
about this game.
okay, the thing that I was most excited about was Deathloop, and
Oh,
so
that
Deathloop.
I don't hate it. I just, for some reason, it gives me anxiety. The trailers.
It's not your jam. It's a shooter. It'll never be your jam.
It gives me anxiety. I'm looking at it, I'm like, what is happening?
It'll never be your jam, Kate. And you know what? That's okay.
That's fine.
The thing that intrigues me the most about this game was that it honestly has nothing to do with like what the game is and how it's played and all sorts of stuff. You're basically taking out all these contracts, and it's like a multiplayer Hitman, kind of a deal. The thing that gets me the most about it is that it's so crazy. I can't, my brain can't wrap around the fact that Microsoft now is in the process of buying Bethesda and ZeniMax, and that is the company that is producing Deathloop. And so,
best of luck, I guess.
and I at least as of right now, Deathloop is a PlayStation exclusive. So we're now living in a world where Microsoft owns the property that is releasing exclusively on a direct competitor's platform.
That's weird. I bet you they'll
It's so
cave.
crazy.
I bet you they'll cave and release it on both.
I don't
know what the process for that
my
would
guess
even look
is that
like.
they can't.
Well, then they shouldn't have bought it.
Well, it's one game that doesn't come out, man, yeah, I'm not worried about it. Yeah, they would probably not release 1,000 games just to be able to get, Elder Scrolls and, all that stuff, Fallout and Doom. But anyway, I mean, legitimately, all that to say, man, I didn't really learn anything.
Just silence.
Yeah.
You know what? I wanted one big thing. Like, do you have any news on the new Horizon Zero Dawn? Do
None of
you
your
have
business.
any news about something else? what was the big, exciting, huge announcement out of this? There wasn't any. So then why did you need to have it right now?
I don't know. Overall, if I had to rate Sony's state of play,
how many
on
Kates?
A scale from 1 to 10? Oh, Kates? How many Kates? I might give it like 3 Kates. 3 out of 10 Kates.
I was thinking 2 Kates.
2? Yeah, I mean, I'm
low on the Kate scale.
I don't know.
There
was nothing there. There was just nothing there.
We've talked about a lot of these state of plays and like other stuff on this podcast because it's, it comes out and it's fun to talk about. And I think this is the most whack, lame, disappointing one that we've had so far on this podcast.
Wiggity whack.
It is. There's not like one thing that we're like, oh my gosh, I'd buy a PS5 for that. Oh.
No.
Nothing. No.
Nothing was selling me on a PS5.
I'll move on with my life thinking about nothing from this.
and I have to say, like right now, PlayStation, Sony, if you're listening,
they are.
Now's the time to put some console sellers out there.
Yeah.
Now's the time.
I'm waiting for it. You
may think, oh, the holidays have passed. It's not a big deal.
Every day's a holiday.
No, right now, people are still stuck at home. I don't know what it's like where you are, but people are still stuck at home places. Streaming is booming right now. All sorts of stuff. Like there is still needs for PlayStation 5s. But you gotta give people a reason to buy them.
We need some assistance.
What's gonna happen?
We need some assistance.
You're gonna see the resale market on PS5s go through the roof if you don't start putting some stuff out there that's your Horizon Zero Dawn, Part 2, your Last of Us 3.
No. We don't need that.
What have you?
We don't need that.
Come on. I'm talking console sellers. Your God of Wars. Your these major
God
IPs.
of War, Ragnarok. Why didn't we hear anything about that?
Nothing.
I forgot. That's another one. Come on. Please help us. Give us something. But you know what I heard this week that was good gaming news for me?
No.
BioWare is done with Anthem. They're done with it. They are putting all their efforts into the new Dragon Age and the new Mass Effect, and that is the news I wanted to hear this week. That is the type of good news I wanted to hear from this state of play, and yet I got nothing.
Were they holding on to Anthem for some reason?
They were trying to do a second one.
Oh.
And do more multiplayer stuff and that kind, but then they said officially, we're dropping the game. We're not going to do anything more. We're going to do this other stuff. And I'm like, yes, just all according to plan. All according to plan, because I did have that thought. I wish you guys would leave
I need
this
to
one
play
alone.
a Dragon Age game.
You won't like it.
I need to play one.
You won't like it.
I haven't played one yet. I mean, I feel like I've started Inquisition, but I didn't play it.
I love that game, and I think you'll just...
I'll probably like it. I love those medieval RPG games, like high magic based and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I'll play it. I have it on Xbox.
Ugh, it's one of my favorite games. Where is the next one? Please, dear Jesus,
coming.
Please help BioWare get it together and release these games quickly, but very good quality. Amen.
If ever there was an example of a wasted prayer, that was it right there. Well, hey, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll close the show out and have a little bit more fun. So don't go anywhere right here on the Free Play Podcast.
We here at LTN Radio know that not everybody is nerdy in the same ways. You might find yourself in a situation where you hear a word or phrase that you've never seen before and have no idea what it means. Well, have no fear. We're here to help. Today's term is vibranium. Now, of course, you might recognize the name of this fictitious metal from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, making up Cap's shield, Winter Soldier's latest arm, Black Panther's suit, and I'm pretty sure it's half of Vision. But here's a little bit of history on the rare metallic ore. Theorized to have been first deposited on Earth by a meteorite 1 million years ago, the material has long been hypothesized to be extraterrestrial in origin. Captain Marvel inadvertently proved this theory to be true during a scuffle between survivors of the Builders' attack and the Spartex Empire, who had relocated them to Torfa, where the latter had begun poisoning the planet and the refugee population by using an unsafe technique to secretly mine vibranium for use in rebuilding their fleets. However, although vibranium was once mined on a number of planets, all those mines have have apparently been exhausted. As a result, aside from the planets of Earth and Torfa, there are no known stores of vibranium left in the Milky Way. There are said to be 5 different types of vibranium on Earth, and the most well-known is Wakandan. I'm Radio Matt, and I hope I've made your life just a little bit nerdier.
Hey there, and welcome to the Free Play Podcast, or welcome back to the Free Play Podcast.
Dedicated
I don't know,
listeners.
your life? Yeah, I don't know if you just showed up or...
Well, maybe you press pause on it and you listen to it over a long period of time, which I do with other podcasts. Not this one.
Do you really?
Yeah, and it's kind of weird. I noticed it yesterday. I listened to this podcast called Ridiculous History, and I will listen to 5 minutes, then I press pause, and then I go do something else for a long time, and like the next day I'll listen to 5 more minutes.
I can't.
It's not how you're supposed to do it, but sometimes I just...
No.
Sometimes I just don't... I don't know.
As a podcast creator and producer, that is like the most offensive way to listen to a podcast. Like,
most of the time I listen to it the whole way through, but sometimes I just pause it. Because I'm like, you know what? I want to listen to something else. I want to listen to a song. And then
in the middle of a podcast,
Yeah.
you just want to listen to a song?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Doesn't a song ever get stuck in your head and you need it to get out? So instead of just trying to distract yourself,
This song gonna
listen
get
to the
stuck
song
inside
and then
you.
it helps
This
it
song
get
gonna
out.
stuck inside
And then
you.
you can proceed about your day.
Now that song's stuck in my head. Hope you're happy with yourself.
I couldn't tell what it was. You were too far from
I think it was from the Lego Movie 2, if
Okay.
memory serves me
I've never
correctly.
seen it.
It's called This Song's Gonna Get Stuck Inside Your Head.
Okay. Well, don't
Yeah.
sing anymore.
It's too late. Yeah. Flagged and reported. No, I mean, I don't know, Kate. I used to listen to a bunch of podcasts. I also was driving around more.
Oh, see, that's
now,
good.
The only driving I do is, you know, like when I move my chair around on the concrete here. Like that's as far as I go.
Let's see.
I don't have any kind of commute anymore. Like this is it. The equivalent of my like podcast listening is listening to Free Play, listening to our podcast that we do at Love Thy Nerd.
So you listen to all content that you're in. Not urine as in pee, but that you are in.
Don't say urine. This is quality,
You are
okay? Bear Grylls would drink it, that's for sure. I listen. Yeah, I definitely listen to the stuff that I'm in, but also I listen to all of our stuff. Period. It's kind of the it's part of the job.
Well, here's some that I listen to. Ridiculous History, very good. Short, on the shorter end, like an hour or less.
But stretched out over 5-minute times. I mean,
the Free Play podcast, of course.
Of course. I don't know why I didn't start with that
This podcast Will Kill You, which is a really good one about like diseases and stuff. Death in the Afternoon. It's about death and stuff.
Okay.
It's really good. That might be it. I listen to Lore sometimes.
I love Lore.
Lore's really good.
I love that podcast.
He says it in a way where I know I'm not going to have nightmares, even if it's a scary thing.
And I'm Aaron Mankey.
I'm Aaron Mankey, and this is Lore.
Is the Lore.
We should do a Lore-themed free play.
Yeah. We could do that, like do spoopy games.
Yeah, well,
so, like,
let's do that for Halloween.
Talk,
write it down. Oh, I guess I should write it down. I'm the producer.
Kate, seriously, real talk. We talked about doing stuff during like the summer and the winter breaks.
Yeah.
Those are 2-month periods, doing 8 episodes of something to fill the gap when, you know, our main stuff isn't on.
Mm-hmm.
Doing deep dives like that. Like long form kind of just, you know, monologue, history.
Research based.
Yes,
see that? Look at
research-based
Tyranny
stuff.
and I could do one like that.
Yes, freaking do it.
Tyranny and I could easily do one like that.
Kate, if you did, listen, I'm serious as a hardtack. If you did like a deep like dive for Red Dead.
I have all kinds of things that I could
Kate.
talk about. I could do a deep dive on 1800s American Western cowboy history, outlaw history.
so like the juxtaposition
Kate's
between
music
like
show.
Red Dead the video game and
yeah,
the real life
I very much could do something like that.
Wild West.
So yeah,
Kate?
I just automatically volunteered Tyranny to do something.
Yeah, you guys just got voluntold. Enjoy.
It's fine. It is fine. So this podcast has been a good brainstorming session for us.
This is what we do.
In the breaks and during this outro.
Yeah, you're welcome. Oh, man. Hey, seriously, if you guys aren't watching us live on twitch.tv/lovethynerd, thank you to those who are.
Yeah.
If you're not here every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, you're missing out.
You really are. I really enjoy this time. It's really fun. And I've gotten to the point where it's my favorite thing of the week. It's the one thing I look forward to.
I'm so sorry
week.
about your life, Kate. This is the highlight of it.
It's taken a downward trajectory, but here we are.
Yeah, that got real dark. Yeah. None taken, Steven.
Oh, poor Steven.
No, but we have a blast, and we appreciate you guys being here. But if you come and you join us on Fridays rather, then what you get is you get all the extra stuff. Mm-hmm. So in between the breaks, we're like talking, we're hanging out,
a lot of extras,
chatting it up. It's almost like 2 podcasts that you get.
It is. There's the real podcast, then there's the pretend one.
Yeah, we're gonna call it the Pretendo podcast. Yeah, it's in between. Yeah. Did your parents ever call Nintendo by like the wrong name?
No, but my gammy used to call Netflix. She'd be like, let's see what's on Netflix today. And she called Skechers Screechers. So, no.
That's just an inability to...
My parents didn't call games anything weird,
properly.
But my gammy called normal brands stuff that's weird.
Screechers and Netflix. Mm-hmm. I love it. Yeah, my mom used to call it the Nintendo. Nintendo.
Ooh,
like
Nintendo,
there was no
like
starting N. And I don't know why. Because it's like capitalized. Kind of hard to miss. And then Matt and I always joke about Pretendo. But yeah, I just wonder. Well, hey, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap the show up. Thank you so much for hanging out with us again right here on twitch.tv/lovethynerd each and every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Mm-hmm. So long as we have episodes. We're going to take breaks during the summer, like I mentioned, and also in the winter as well. But we'll let you know when those are coming up. Unless otherwise stated, right here, twitch.tv/lovethynerd, Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time.
Be there or
And Matt's usually
not.
here too.
Yeah.
When he's not selling a house, he'll be here.
Making big Skrilla selling our house.
Well, I mean, at least an amount of Skrilla that he paid for the house. That's the hope. Is we're just gonna like a lateral move, if nothing else. Yeah. So,
best of luck, Matt.
Well, hey, I think that's going to do it for episode 116 of the Free Play Podcast. Be sure to check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, YouTube, radio.com, LTNonair.com, Live365 app.
All the things.
Where else?
I don't know, but we're on all the things. We have to be at this point.
Hey, yeah, I mean, all of them. If you can't find us, just go to lovethynerd.com/freeplay and you can subscribe right from there. To all of those, well, not all of them. You can get like Spotify buttons there, Apple Podcasts, Google, and then also an RSS button so that you can listen to it on whatever will take that RSS feed.
Yep.
But we would love that. Come and hang out with us and make sure that you're sharing this content. Make sure that you're sharing it on your social media, that you're engaging with us, whether in Discord or Twitter or
I've been
Facebook,
in Discord for 5 days in a row. Four days in a row.
Kate.
3 days.
That's a new PB for you right there.
I don't know. MDB2 is counting, not me.
Oh, well. That's as high as he can go, so I think you're
4.
good. Yeah. Hey, and if you're not already a part of the aforementioned Love Thy Nerd Facebook group, just go ahead and do it. Search us on Facebook, Love Thy Nerd, and what you're going to see is you're going to see a page. Go ahead and like that page, follow that. And then also, you're going to find the LTN Love Thy Nerd community. Make sure you join that. If you really want to get in, like Kate was saying, Discord's the place. Like that's where the business happens. That's where all the magic is. We've got space for you to talk about WandaVision. We've got space for you guys to talk about DC spoilers with the new Zack Snyder cut coming out here pretty soon of Justice League. We've got a place for comic books, regular books, underwater books, overwater books, all the things. You can come in and talk and hang out. And if you like GIFs, not gifts with a T, but no T at the end of that. Just
GIFs.
Yeah, Giphy Jiffies. Yeah. There's plenty of that. Maybe even too much at times. But hey, you know what? It's there. Nerds like that stuff.
They do.
And you can also find us, like I said, Love Thy Nerd on all major areas of social media. We've got Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Love Thy Nerd. And be sure to follow us, Free Play Podcast, on Twitter at Free Play Podcast.
We have good stuff. I say it every
Usually-
week, but I'm dead serious. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Also, we have 99 followers on our Twitter account, so we need one more to make a hundo.
We got 99 problems, but followers ain't
Yeah,
one.
that's true. So if you're the
But one
100th
more, we'll
follower,
get us to 100.
you're not going to get anything special.
100th caller. 100th
You'll
caller.
you'll know in your heart that you are 100. That's what the prize will be.
Yeah. Number 100 on Twitter, but number 1 in our hearts.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. Well, hey, once again, I'm Bubba Stallcup.
I'm Matt Warmier. And I'm Kate Katawaki.
And for I did it again. For our cut man, Jonathan Clausen. We'll catch you next week. And remember, if no one else tells you this, I promise it's true. Jesus loves you, nerds.
You have been listening to the Free Play Podcast with Bubba Stallcup, Matt Warmbier, and Kate Katawaki, part of the Love Thy Nerd Podcast Network. Be sure to rate and review the show and share on all the social media.
Yeah, perfect.